Abercrombie, the Koalition. I am fascinated by the seasons overall and how each of you bring your own flavor, but it's also very jointed. Everything is connected well together. And so I was wondering, can you talk about maybe the preparation beforehand of making sure that you see things a certain way, how you want it to go, but also keeping the cohesion? Because again, this is an episodic. This is not just you doing one all 10 hours.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I watch and I listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty new to the game. And so like for these gentlemen, like, Deon was saying, Eve is a legend. I think that he's one too, because I've watched them. And so like for me, they're like big boats. And I'm just behind them on my little jet ski cutting up in the wake that they've created for somebody like, me to come through and stuff like that. So I watch the work that they do. And you just gotta like study it to know what like the flow is. And then in this second season in particular, we all had the same DP. And so when I say I listen, I ask Jody, I'm like, how does this go? Because I know that like, this ain't my thing. Like, I'm just a great babysitter. Give me your baby. Tell me the needs, wants, likes, dietary restrictions. I'm gonna hold the baby, rock the baby, give it back to you. You'll probably miss me when I'm gone, but it's like, I listen and I do what I know your baby needs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to come into here as like no auteur. It's like, I'm trying to, to these earlier points of it's 10 of us doing different episodes and we're just trying to make it cohesive. So I'm trying to blend in with them, but also put a little flair here and there. So it's, got a little pop to it. So like me, that's my thing. Like I watch everything down. I read all the episodes that come before mine. So like, if I had done a later episode, I read it because I need to know what's going on. But like, I haven't read their episodes because I'm still in the position of being a fan too. So like, I'm trying to preserve, what I'm getting to witness to like later in their episode. So I just watch and listen and I, ask the actors. I'd be like, hey man, help me. Tell me something here. Like, what would you do? What would Tommy Egan do? What would, whoever doing? So I just try to like draw from that and just try not to stick out like a sore thumb in the middle of the season or nothing like that. So that's just kind of like my approach. And I just get in there and do what I know how to do, which is just do a little politicking.
Yeah, I mean, Cierra pretty much hit it on the head. Shooter, sorry, say shooter. That it all starts with prep, right? For me, I mean, it's crazy when you come in so late in the game in the season that I prefer to watch, hopefully the episodes are there so I understand I can track it rather than sit there and read 7-8 scripts because that'll just kill your time. And that doesn't, it helps to some extent because you really reading it is one thing, but then actually seeing how they perform is another, right? So that you have to understand. I mean, that's it, for me. It's just crazy how people, when I talk to people who want to be directors and stuff, I'm like, this is black and white, and you have to bring this to life. You know what I mean? So it really starts in prep. I have a process of whenever I go to direct an episode of whatever show I'm on, right after the table read or whatever the case is, I always reach out to every actor and I talk with them and I try to, I'll ask them like, hey, there's anything that's jumping off the page, anything you want to talk about. And what that does to me, it just kind of builds a relationship and it makes things a lot smoother and easier so that when you get on set, because a lot of people say I move fast, but the reality is that I move fast because I've already had these discussions with the actors before we get on set. You know what I mean? And it just saves us time, especially with TV. I mean, forget about it. Network is a whole other level too, where you just kind of, you shooting and running at that point. But with the premium, I mean, it's always a great thing to sit with the actors, talk about the scenes, during prep, you talk to your DP, how things been going, what's, how's the story going and the arc of every character and everything else. But I think, that's the best way to keep it cohesive. Like you have to, like, you just can't come in there and be like, all right, I'm going to direct and not be prepared and just like wing it, because it's going to be a disaster. You know what I mean? I mean, you really have to take prep serious in order to be successful with your episode.
Yeah, I would, first off, I would just say, Shooter, you dope as hell. So cut it out. You ain't no damn jet ski crazy. You a goddamn boat.
I mean, I do love a good yacht, but
no, you're great. You are great, seriously. And everybody, I believe, that's had an opportunity to work on Power has been blessed to be able to work on Power and has been hand selected. So make sure you know that, because it's a very special show. And that's why I started off by saying, you know, Eve, it's just been amazing to watch someone who's been able to, since inception to now, that's still doing this, because this is a massive show. When this show is over, and remember, Power, this is the last extension of the original Power, right, Tommy? Right? So there's a lot that goes into this show in terms of how you think about it, what it is. It's not a spinoff, it is Power. You know what I mean? So everyone has to be great, and everyone has to come and deliver. It's the playoffs every time you come to a Power set, because you know whoever was before you just dropped 50. You know what I mean? You check it in like, all right, where my jersey at? Let me get my ball. You know what I mean? I gotta get some buckets. But I've been blessed to do my prep on this show. The first time I ever shot Power, this finale of last year, I was really, really into like reading all of the scripts, because I was coming in, I didn't know I was going to be doing it. So I had to really get my head together. And then I had to do a little bit different prep. I went and watched some of the old Powers just to remember, you know, the energy and the integrity of what it was. And then that allowed me to do that last finale. And, you know, and like Eve said, I think a little bit of why we're there also is because all of us are guns. We're all fast and proficient at what we do. And we all know what we want to have. This is not a set where you can sit there and go, I think I want to move the camera over there now. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, it ain't that type of part. You got to know what you're doing, or you'll get caught, you know, in a bad way, because the actors have been on this show for a while. They know what they're doing, right? So your job is to come to set and be able to tell them something that they're not doing, or something that they did not see, or, you know, an idea. And I got a little bit lucky with the finale, because what the finale allows you to do a bit of is change them, because you're going somewhere that they haven't went yet, right? So it allows you to have a little bit of a cheat code, because you go, oh man, you ain't never cried this season? Oh, okay, cool. You're gonna cry, or whatever that might be. You know what I mean? Like, you get to have a moment because you can see it's ending, they're going somewhere else. So the characters could do a little bit slightly different things than they've been doing the entire season. And that's what I really love about the finale is, you know, me being just an independent director. I always love engaging with actors and trying different things, even if I know it's going to be a no, or, you know, I normally call it being ugly, which is, you know, actors sometimes, if they haven't arrived at the artist that they are going to be, they're always trying to be cute or sexy, or lick their lips the right way, right? Make sure they face it in the camera the right way. And sometimes when you really do art, you got to get ugly. You know, you can't worry about you know, your hair ain't right, or it didn't get framed that right, because you're really just worried about the performance. And so the finale, what I thought was really great was being able to push them, try different things that I know, you know, maybe Gary would be like, D, you shouldn't have did that. But then he looks at me and be like, damn, that was all right. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to see if we could do something different to keep growing the characters, because like I said, they know it. You know, they've been living it. You know, Joe Sikora is Tommy so much to where people don't even know his name at times. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, Tommy. You know what I mean? He like, man, my name is Joseph, man. You know what I mean? So a little bit of it's like they have that extension of that character so much to where you like, man, let's figure out how you could do a little bit different thing. Can Tommy have, you know, a little more heart in this moment? Can we find something with Isaac and Isaac I really like a lot for this conversation, because Isaac, being a former football player, is someone that I really love watching on screen, because he's continuously getting better, right? Like, he doesn't come from the world of, thespian. He wasn't on stage. You know, he learned this. He got hired. He came into the show. And every episode, you can see his growth. So he's someone that I always tend to be like, man, Isaac, try this, try that, because he's learning. You know what I mean? And he's such a big guy and such a good charismatic character to where I believe this season you're gonna see like him take some really, really big turns in the right way where you like, yo, he cold. You know what I mean? He reminds me of I don't know if you guys remember Spencer for Hire, but there was a character on there a long time ago called Hawk. And Hawk was, didn't say much, but when he says something, you're like, okay, he just said something. So Isaac has a lot of that Hawk in him, you know what I mean? Where it's like a look or a gesture or, you know, a moment or whatever. You're like, okay, I get it. I understand, because acting a lot of times is not about words, but more so how you move or how you move your face or a facial expression. And I love that the show kind of goes to this place where now you're starting to see the actors be able to really act. So that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, no, but to your point though, I think Gary did a great thing this season where we're able to see each character developed in a way we haven't seen before. So, you know, I think everyone's going to enjoy that, and just seeing where Diamond goes, where Jannard goes, and so on. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be a killer season.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody definitely adding to their tool bags for sure.